We are facing a public health crisis. We know that there's a tsunami of illegal product coming into Australia daily.
New research shows 9 out of 10 Aussie adults want the government to crack down on vaping to protect teens, including a ban in public spaces, as well as an end to social media ads.
These products were presented as a possibility for smokers to quit smoking, but we have young people who have never smoked who are taking up vaping.
1.2 million Australians vape, the overwhelming majority 18 to 24-year-olds. In just 3 years, young people's e-cigarette use spiked by 46%.
People think I'm obsessed with this, but I'm okay with it. I am obsessed with it.
Australian schools are installing vape detectors in their bathrooms.
Aussie GPs calling for plain packaging and a ban on all flavours except tobacco. While vapes may smell of bubblegum and watermelon, they also contain toxic chemicals and nicotine, some containing as much as 50 cigarettes.
Where is everyone in Australia getting these tiny little vape pens from that have nicotine in them? I want one.
E-cigarettes can cause addiction, lung injury, seizures, poisonings, burns. Some of these vapes have, thousands of puffs in them, and we know that every puff is a highly concentrated amount of nicotine, which is going into our kids' lungs and into their brains and getting them hooked.
With Aussie adolescent cigarette smoking rates at a record low, are our teens simply swapping one deadly vice for another?
Public health expert Dr. Sandro Demaio joins us now. Sandro, we have some of the strictest nicotine laws in the world, but also a teen nicotine vaping crisis. So what's gone wrong?
Well, we know that industry have been targeting young people. It's as plain as simple as that. There's been a deluge of highly toxic, addictive, single-use products flooding the market from overseas across our borders. And then young people's data has been weaponised against them through social media. These products have as much nicotine as 150 cigarettes. They come looking like a hoodie toggle or a makeup pen with flavours like Fruit Loops and milk, and sold in what looks like candy stores, potentially to young people.
Yeah, so Sandro, you can walk into any convenience store pretty much anywhere in the country, and whether they're under the counter or on the counter, you can buy them. How is that possible if it's illegal?
Well, it is legal. It is illegal, and this is one of the loopholes that the industry is using. So young people in school clothing, even primary school kids being sold these products, it is illegal, and the laws are clearly not working. We need stronger protections. We need stronger urgent action from government, and we need for the current laws to be properly enforced.
You mentioned a loophole there. What loophole specifically would allow them to sell something illegal in a convenience store?
Well, one of the loopholes is that they're not to young people, but one of the loopholes that they're using is simply not putting the fact that these products contain nicotine on the packaging. So 70% of products seized in Western Australia didn't declare nicotine on the packet, but did contain very high levels of nicotine. So non-nicotine vapes are not subject to the same tight rules as nicotine-containing vapes. How are they getting around that? By simply not putting it on the packaging.
But Dr. Sandro, we can't do anything about vapes being illegally brought into the country or illegally labelled. The government, are they dropping the ball with enforcing the law? And why don't they care?
Look, government certainly needs to work faster and work harder at all levels. So federal government does need to focus on tightening our borders, updating our marketing rules. They were written in a time 10 years ago when social media didn't exist. They're clearly out of date and not hitting the mark. 30% of teenagers have used these products, and they're 3 times more likely to go on to smoke cigarettes if they take up vaping. My big concern is that if we don't act fast, we're going to end up with another generation addicted to nicotine.
So this idea that you could have a flavour ban, so you can't have ice cream flavoured or bubblegum flavoured, or it's just tobacco and that's meant to be disgusting. How much difference would that make?
Look, it would make a big difference. We know, that the flavours are one way that they get young people interested and hooked. But it needs to be broader than that. Really what we need to be doing is stopping them first and foremost at the border And then we need to look at really enforcing the measures that we have. We have a pathway for older people, for people wanting to get off smoking. If you're a 65-year-old truckie and you've been smoking for 40 years and you've tried absolutely everything else, including much more effective ways of quitting like patches and gum, that pathway is there and should be there through a doctor like myself with a prescription. But for everyone else, these products are just another way of making a huge profit for the tobacco industry at the cost of public health, and even worse, at the cost, and I worry if we don't act soon, the lives of young people.
Dr. Sandro, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.